The deal jacket. You must create a deal jacket for each sale. This is where you will keep all the important documents related to the sale of the vehicle. This is also the file TextDMV, OCCC, and the comptroller will ask for when they conduct an exam or audit of your dealership. So it's important to make sure these documents are accurate. Now, some documents are required to be in the deal jacket on every sale, although they may vary depending on whether it is a cash sale or finance deal, and other documents may be required based on the situation presented during the sale, like if there is a trade-in or you are including a warranty on the vehicle. And last, we will review recommended documents that can go in the deal jacket. These are documents that will help you if you run into a problem down the road after you sell the vehicle. Many of these documents will be reviewed in more detail in the next section. Let's look at the required documents in a cash sale. Click on the folder to see those documents. You'll be able to continue once you've reviewed all of the documents. Purchase record. This is the document, such as the auction purchase receipt shown here, that establishes how the vehicle came into your inventory. You are required to have some record of your acquisition of the vehicle. If the vehicle is purchased from a private party, you must document their name, address, ID type, and ID number, such as driver's license number. The next document key to a sale is the vehicle's title. Here you see the front of a Texas title. By law, no one is allowed to sell a vehicle if they do not have possession of the title. Now, as we take a look at the back, when you acquire the vehicle, you will take assignment of the vehicle by completing the purchaser information as demonstrated here. The seller will complete the seller's portion. Now, when you sell the vehicle, you will complete the next assignment down as shown. Your buyer will complete the buyer's information. If the actual title is held by a bank or floor planner, then you must keep a copy of the front and back of the title in the deal jacket while the vehicle is in your inventory. Once the vehicle is sold, you will take the actual title to the county tax office to transfer the vehicle. Remember, you must keep a copy of the signed title in your records after the sale. The new title, now in your customer's name, will go to the customer. We'll discuss this more in the next section when we discuss transferring the vehicle. Buyer's order, also called a bill of sale or purchase agreement. This document will reflect the terms of the sale. In a sale that does not include a retail installment contract, the buyer's order is the primary sales document. Buyer's guide. As discussed earlier, the buyer's guide must be posted on every vehicle offered for sale. You are also required to retain a copy in the deal jacket. It is highly recommended that you have your customer sign the buyer's guide. ID. If the vehicle will be titled in Texas, dealers are required to keep a copy of the customer's photo ID in the deal jacket. Only certain ID types are acceptable. You can see what they are here. The customer's ID may not be expired by more than 1 year as of the date of sale. Buyer's tag receipt. As we covered, a dealer must issue a temporary tag on each retail sale. When the tag is printed, 2 copies of a receipt will also print. 1 copy goes to the customer, and the other copy is to be retained in the deal jacket. Application for Texas Title and/or Registration, Form 130U. This document must be completed and submitted to the tax office when you transfer the vehicle into the name of your customer. A copy must also be retained in the deal jacket. Much more detail will be provided in the upcoming Transferring Titles chapter. Although your customer must sign this form, you do not need to provide them a copy of it. Payment instrument. You are required to retain a record of the customer's payment instrument, such as a canceled check or credit card receipt. Privacy notice. In most situations, you are required to provide a privacy notice to your customer describing how you treat their non-public personal information. More information will be provided in the Federal Requirements chapter under Privacy Notice. Title application receipt, often referred to as the white slip. This document, along with the customer's plates, will be provided to you by the tax office when the vehicle has been titled and registered in your customer's name. 1 copy of the white slip goes to your customer, The other one is retained in your deal jacket. When you receive the white slip, make sure any liens were recorded accurately and verify the charges paid by the customer match what you were charged. Here we will assume that the dealer is originating the financing. That means the dealer will be the seller on the contract, regardless of whether the contract will immediately be sold to a finance company, or if the dealer will be keeping the deal in-house, as a buy here, pay here deal. Both the documents we will discuss here are in addition to those listed in the previous cash sale. Click on the folder to see those documents. You'll be able to continue once you've reviewed all of the documents. This first one is a retail installment contract. In a finance deal, this is the most important document in the deal jacket. The retail installment contract is what creates the lien holder's security interest in the vehicle. It is very important that the contract be appropriate for the type of finance charge calculation being applied. It is also very important to know that a buyer's order, purchase agreement, or any other document may not be used in place of a retail installment contract. The sample contract shown here is just an example and may not be appropriate for the type of sale you will be conducting. Note: if a retail installment contract is completed, then a buyer's order is optional. It is not a required document. Credit application. If you take the credit application from a customer, a copy must be retained in the deal jacket. It is important to use a credit app from a reliable source to avoid violating various regulations, including the Federal Equal Credit Opportunity Act. If a credit app is completed, but no deal is done, the app must be retained for 25 months, and an adverse action notice is normally required. Adverse action and the ECOA will be discussed in the Federal Requirements chapter. Now let's discuss some of those situational documents that are triggered by various things at the time of sale. These documents are required, but only if a specific action related to the sale takes place. Click on the folder to see those documents. You'll be able to continue once you've reviewed all of the documents. If the deal includes a trade-in, the buyer's order must be updated to show the trade-in value and payoff, if any. Disclosure of equity. This document is also required by law and must be completed on any finance deal that involves a trade-in. It must be completed regardless of whether the trade-in has a payoff and whether equity is positive or negative. A copy goes to the customer and a copy stays in the deal jacket. Power of attorney for the transfer of ownership to a motor vehicle, Form VTR 271A. If your customer is trading in a vehicle that requires you to provide a payoff to their lien holder or their title is lost, then you may use Form VTR 271A if the vehicle is subject to odometer disclosure. This form allows the dealership to sign the customer's name as the seller on the back of the title when you pay off their trade-in and receive the title from the previous lien holder. Form VTR 271A is only available from a Tex DMV Regional Service Center. It is a secured, numbered form, therefore it cannot be printed directly or downloaded. For a list of locations, go to www.txdmv.gov and search Regional Service Centers. We will discuss this in more detail in the next section. Repossessed Motor Vehicle Affidavit, Form VTR 264. You will need to keep a copy of Form VTR 264 if you are selling a vehicle you previously repossessed. Dealer's Reassignment of Title for a Motor Vehicle, Form VTR 41A. It is basically a continuation of the back of the Texas title. It is used when all reassignment spaces on the original title are full. It may also be used to get the customer's signature when the original title is not present at closing, as long as the owner of the title has previously made an assignment on the title and use of Form VTR 271A does not apply. Form VTR 41A is only available from the Tex DMV Regional Service Centers. It is a secured, numbered form, therefore it cannot be printed directly or downloaded. Limited warranty. If the buyer's guide indicates that the vehicle price includes a limited warranty rather than being sold as is, then a limited warranty document, such as this sample, must be provided. The buyer's guide itself may not serve as the warranty document. Note: obviously, if a warranty is being offered, then the warranty disclaimer document listed in the recommended folder should not be used. Tax exemption for wholesale deals. This resale certificate is required when a vehicle is sold to another licensed Texas dealer. As long as this form is completed, sales tax is not due on any wholesale transaction. You only need to assign one of these forms to the dealer that you sell to, regardless of how many transactions you have with that dealer. Tax exemption out of state. If a vehicle is to be titled in another state other than Texas, and no use will be made of it in Texas other than to transport it out of state, no sales tax is due as long as this form is used. One copy stays in the deal jacket, and one copy goes to your customer. Consignment. If a vehicle is sold or offered for sale on consignment, a written consignment agreement such as this sample must be retained. Rebuilt salvage disclosure. If you are selling a vehicle that contains a rebuilt salvage brand on the title, you must get the customer's signature on a form containing the disclosure language. We will discuss salvage in more detail later. Salvage disclosure. Same thing. If you are selling a salvage vehicle, you must have your customer sign the disclosure form. Cosigner. If another individual other than the buyer is co-signing on the financing for the vehicle, this form must be completed. Now, this does not apply to a co-buyer of the vehicle, only a co-signer. Generally speaking, a co-buyer receives benefits such as usage of the vehicle. Co-signer is simply a guarantor on the debt. Make sure you understand the difference before you sell or title a vehicle. GPS disclosure. If a GPS tracking device is installed in the vehicle, that fact must be disclosed in writing. This applies whether the GPS unit also has starter interruptibilities or not. Repossession letters. If you are a buy here, pay here dealer, you may have to repossess a vehicle if a consumer defaults on the loan. You are required to send either a notice of private sale or of strict foreclosure to your customer, except in the event of a voluntary return. You may also have expenses associated with hiring a repossession company. Make sure you keep a copy of repossession letters, notices, and third-party expenses in the deal jacket. Buy here, pay here will be discussed in more detail in Section 4. Now we will review some documents that are not required by the state or federal government, but can help you during the sale and if an issue comes up after the sale. Click on the folder to see those documents. You'll be able to continue once you've reviewed all of the documents. Test drive agreement. This document establishes the terms and conditions of a test drive and can be useful to law enforcement if a vehicle that leaves your lot as a test drive ends up being stolen. Vehicle history report, including NIM Vitis. We recommend that you provide your customer with as much information about the vehicle you are selling as you can. This sample vehicle history report also includes data from the National Motor Vehicle Title Information System. The NIM Vitis data is crucial to making sure both you and your customer know about the vehicle's title history, including potential title brands from other states. NIM Vitis data is available as a standalone report or as an add-on to a vehicle history report. Disclosure of known defects. This document is another tool for making full disclosure to your customer about your knowledge of the vehicle's condition. Disclosure on airbags. A dealer typically does not know the condition of the airbags in a used vehicle. This document discloses this fact and makes sure the customer knows that they may get the airbags inspected prior to sale. Vehicle inspection report. In order to be registered in Texas, a vehicle sold by a dealer must have completed a passing safety inspection in the 180 days prior to the sale. The VIR is provided by the licensed inspection station and may be required by some counties in order to register the vehicle. Recalls lookup. We highly recommend that you utilize the VIN lookup tool found in the link provided below to find out the status of any open safety recalls on each vehicle you sell. Print out the results, have the customer sign it, then give the customer a copy and keep a copy in the deal jacket. If a fix is available, we strongly recommend that you have the vehicle repaired prior to sale. At the very least, you must disclose known safety recalls. Odometer disclosure. If a title is not present at closing, we recommend you use an odometer disclosure statement such as this to ensure your customer is fully aware of the mileage on the vehicle at time of sale. Keep in mind, if the vehicle is less than 20 years old and not otherwise exempt from the federal odometer disclosure law, the customer must still sign the back of the title. This document cannot be used in lieu of the customer signing the actual title. Arbitration agreement. Many dealers choose to ask their customers to sign an arbitration agreement. The arbitration process is often more efficient and less costly for consumers and dealers than courtroom litigation. Warranty disclaimer. If you sell a vehicle as is, this document is recommended to specifically disclaim any warranties, specifically those of merchantability or commercially reasonable and fitness. OFAC search. Dealers are required to comply with the provisions of the Federal Patriot Act, one of which is to check the specially designated nationals list from OFAC to make sure you do not do business with a suspected terrorist. Many software systems include an OFAC compliance feature. You can also visit the website below, perform a search, print out the results, and retain them in the deal jacket. We will discuss this more in Section 4.